see that celebrities divorce despite all their monies, and rich people divorce. One of the problems I have with religious people is that they have unilinear thought processes. They just think in a straight line, and that's why they are easily deceived. They don't know that truths can be parallel. This is one truth, this is another truth, parallel, they don't have where they will meet. The Bible says money is the root of all evil. The same Bible says money answereth all things. So how do you marry the two? The same Bible says there was a man who saved a small city, a wise man, but he was a poor man and he was forgotten. What you do is that you pick each truth and compartmentalize them in your brain and form an amalgam of wisdom from the different compartments of wisdom, of knowledge. Wisdom is synthesized from knowledge. So don't be a unilinear thinker. Think multidimensionally. Now, I tried to look at why people will have money and they will still be divorced. They'll still end up in divorce. One of the persons I studied is Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton got married in 1964 to Carl Thomas Dean. They are still married till today. So Barry White had a first marriage when he was very young, but he married in 1974 and stayed with one wife till 2003 when he died. Amongst celebrities, divorce rate is higher because it depends on the area where they are celebrities. If they are sportsmen, when you do sports, you secrete adrenaline, noradrenaline, testosterone, cortisol, and those hormones. And some of these hormones, when they break down, or even without breaking down, they are sexual stimulants. And so you will notice that some vocations, have high adrenaline and testosterone production in the males, like sports, like music, like the army, like any strenuous activity, truck drivers. Such people could have high sexual activity and their marriages might break down, usually because of the long distances. They also stay away from their spouses because the Bible says, come quickly together so that the devil will not come in. Do not deny each other the conjugal rights of marriage. Now, another reason why people with money, fame, status can divorce, it depends on the individuals. Jimmy Carter married one wife and stayed with one wife until the woman died recently. George Bush has married one wife since, and a lot of people who are responsible remain married to their wives despite, or their husbands, despite their popularity and fame. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has been married to one man. Angela Merkel became the Chancellor of Germany. She's married to a professor. She has been married to one husband, and the husband one wife, despite the distances that separate them. So it depends on whether the people have anything to lose. It depends on their professions too. Doctors are least likely to divorce. Judges, justices are least likely to divorce. So people who have professional discipline and professional ethics are least likely to divorce. The next thing is that it depends on the age when they are married. If they marry too early and fame and wealth comes too early, it's very difficult to manage fame, very difficult to manage wealth, very difficult to manage popularity in a demanding circumstance like music, boxing, and every other sports, and maybe fashion and designing. So the pressure of these three things can easily lead to divorce. I know what I'm talking about. And most times at that time, they are still very immature. Now, one of the things I must share with you, and I shared it before now, forget all these people who quote scriptures up and down. In fact, they irritate me sometimes. When a husband and a wife are growing a business together, including ministry, from my experience, if two of them are intelligent, two of them are enterprising, two of them are forceful, if one party does not bend low or mellow for the other party, there is a tendency for conflict to take place. In fact, as we're growing up building business or businesses, from practicing medicine at 24, 27, 24, 26, each day at a point, there were three things that will happen that will nearly cause divorce. It's just that the faith and the environment where we grew up held us together. Being Christians, and then the Igbo environment where we grew up, divorce was not something that they celebrated or tolerated very easily, particularly the church setting, the kind of church settings where we grew up in Aba. So this is very important. The next thing is that who is the breadwinner? If the husband is the breadwinner and every other person, the wife is coming in as just a wife, the tendency is that the man that will not respect the wife. The man is all and all. And excepting in the Arab setting, the Middle Eastern setting, Jewish, Arab, Samaritans, and Samaritans, and all those in the Middle East, where the woman can afford to remain subservient to the husband or obedient to the husband because of their cultural and religious tendencies. Sometimes the man thinks he is everything and might not take the opinions of the wife into consideration. And the wife will just be waiting until the children are grown and the children can be independent and take care of themselves. Then she leaves the marriage. Sometimes the man just moves on, like our friend who has married 5 times and doesn't have a wife at home. He is very engrossed in his businesses in Nigeria. You know who I'm talking about. And when a woman exposed his black ass some time ago, it didn't trouble him because of what use? Is he a priest or is he an imam? Of what use? So when they reach a certain level, and some men who are very intellectually inclined, when they have fame and they have resources, they have authority, and they get married to a woman who is not as intellectually stimulating as they would have wanted, the tendency is that they grow away from the woman and the woman will feel neglected. At a point, the woman gets frustrated and finds her way, or the man himself negates her and just moves on. Another thing is, if you take the case of Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, money is there. But you see, they just, at a point, they just grow apart. People will just grow apart. You've reached a 50, maybe the man is 60 or 50 something, the woman is 50 something, she's into menopause, she's no longer having children, the man is no longer interested in going to Jerusalem, he's no longer interested in swimming in the Bermuda Triangle or climbing Mount Olives. And he gets intellectual orgasm, financial orgasm, exploratory orgasm, and all that. And marriage becomes a drag. And then some of the women at that stage, they will feel that they have labored enough. And then they will want to be on their own too because they've gotten a level of independence and vision of their own. When they separate, they know that they will get a lot of benefits from the marriage. So it is economical for them to separate at that point. There is nothing they are really looking for at that stage. Love is not interesting to some of them anymore. Like as I told you, love does not sustain marriage. It is responsibility that sustains marriage. You will now find out that the man has stewards, has secretaries, has personal secretaries, and all that. And sometimes there is a younger side babe that will come and start, will be attracted to the man because of the resource. As old as I am, if I give space for side chicks, they will want to have a baby for me. They will want to come into the marriage. They will want to enjoy the fame and the resources and all that. So when the man is not on guard, like any male, if David could fall, any man can fall. So that's one of the reasons for divorce. Somebody like Tiger Woods, he felt that he was invincible, not invisible, invincible, that he could do anything and get away with it. There's something that occurs when you become popular, you have money, you have fame, and all that. There's the tendency to think that people will tolerate you and your stupidity. And that was what he said. And after some time, the world also forgot and they moved on and he moved on. So that's one other reason why people could, if despite money, people could separate. I've talked about I want my own. Then when the oil stops flowing, when the oil of marriage stops flowing, the man cannot climb again. That thing, when you wake it and wake it, you turn it like a Bedford lorry. There was one lorry in those days we were taken to school. They will put a rod in the front, turn it, turn it, turn it, turn you. Then it will start. Boo, 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 boo. When you reach a certain age, they need to wind that idiot in between the legs that does not get born again. It's the only animal that walks with the head upside down. Then the thing will just start. Woo, 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 woo. Then after some time, it will just, I surrender, I surrender. And that is the time that the libido of the woman is coming up. She's free from fear of pregnancy. She's free from having children. There is comfort and all that. And she wants excitement. In that case, financial orgasm might not be enough for some cougars. They are called cougars. Cougar. Cougar. Those cougars are aggressive females that want orgasm. And so they look for young men to take them to cloud nine, to climb their mountains. So when the oil stops flowing, sometimes, like as I said, wealth becomes boring. You've had everything, you travel around the world, you have all kinds of clothes, you have all kinds of shoes, you've eaten all kinds of food. It becomes boring. That's why some of them do foolish things. And to rekindle the oil of marriage, sometimes it is very, very difficult. It is extremely difficult. I've interviewed a lot of my age mates. The children and the mothers will go to one side. The man suddenly finds that he is lonely. He starts seeing very funny behaviors. And that thing in between the leg is a very nervous thing. Once he sees trouble, he sees hate, he sees quarrel, it will just withdraw inside like a snail. So loss of libido, the oil has gotten dry, and the man tries to face his own life and maybe live alone. So these are some of the reasons why people separate despite fame and wealth. But let me tell you, somebody commented on my post. He said, it is better for him to weep, to cry in a Lamborghini than to cry in a bus. Listen, money is good if it does not control you, if it does not control your emotions. You need money to live well. You need money to train your children. You need money to fly around. You need money to contribute to society. It's good to have money. Makes life worth living, makes life good. But it is better to have Jesus in your life.